What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 269 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. In this show this week, Australia is again the joke the world over. Mortal Kombat, He-Man Revelations, Cliffy Let It Be, Ben is moving on, No Man's Sky, Raspberry Pi, way too much Minecraft, and much more. Editing Lucas, play the track, good sir.
This is the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast, the show with barking dogs in the background, sneezing, coughing, and all of those nice little things that remind you that this is not a paid production. Oh, and in between all of that, there's some video game stuff too. Enjoy the show.
Thank you for tuning into the show for this week. Today is Monday, the 19th of August, 2019. I am your host, Snoogs, and joining me for hosting duties this week is the one and only Grejio. Good evening, mate. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Oh, I'm always fabulous for a Monday.
Very good.
And also joining us this week is the man behind the edits himself, the one and only Lucas.
G'day, you beautiful bastards. How are yous?
Beautiful.
Yeah, pretty beautiful.
Very good.
And a little bit sexy thrown in.
Yeah, a little bit of sexy on the side.
Listen, you and I, and, well, all three of us know quite well there is no such thing as sexy in this company.
Oh, come on. We're all
maybe from a distance.
Bearded men. That's covers something.
No, not from a distance, not from any filter, not from anywhere. I'd like to say we had our day, but I don't even think we had that.
I was going to say, long enough in the woods with me, I'll start looking good.
If I want to do like a sexy, angle and put it on Instagram, I'm going to have to just put on the face camera, like the selfie camera.
Yeah.
And just take the photo like a normal photo. So I'm not even in the shot. That's how sexy I am.
My sexy angle is usually around the corner where I can't be seen.
Yeah.
I clearly have better self-esteem issues than both of you because I'm dead sexy, and I know it.
Yeah, your self-esteem issue is that it's misguided.
Hey, look, I'm happy to live in delusional status if I'm dead sexy.
Yeah.
I'm dead sexy, dead as I stroke the beard.
Righto. Anyway,
Alrighty.
About the show.
Can we take it as euphemism? Well, let's just jump straight into it, eh? Because this week in gaming, I've got a big doozy for this week.
Right. What's your doozy? You know what year it was this time?
No, I do have that. It's 2017, so it wasn't that long ago. I believe you and I, Lucas, actually got to play it early. This game came out this week in 2017. It is Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Oh, right. Yes, the standalone DLC for Uncharted 4.
Yes. So, of course, it was developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony. PS4 exclusive. It had the Uncharted characters of Nadine Ross and Chloe Fraser in the Uncharted world, but offset. They talked about Nate, but didn't really have anything to do with him. The game itself didn't have anything to do with him. It had linear sections. It had open world sections. And all in all, was actually quite a good title.
Well, it's a very good sort of expansion to the story, shows you a little bit more about other characters that were in Uncharted 4, expands on their characters, you get to know what they were like, sort of outside of the main story of the Uncharted game, and a very competent game on its own. Take away the fact that it's a expansion, standalone thing, it could be a game on its own.
I think it was even long enough to be a, standalone game. I quite enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, I think it took around 7 to 10 hours for me to do it. It was a fairly good chunk of game.
And just driving around that area with all the waterfalls and
that open area section, I originally, when we just had that little teaser, like early access to it, I thought that was the game. I thought that was it in that open world section. And then when I got the game, when it fully released, and found out that there's a shit ton more than just that section. That's actually just a real small piece of it compared to what the whole thing is. I was very impressed.
So any Uncharted fans out there, if you haven't played it yet, get over and give it a crack. It's good fun.
Oh, How I wish that we had the Men in Black flashy thingy where you could really just wipe your memory and then just go and enjoy all these things again for the first time once again. That would be great.
That is true. I think I'd be that with the whole Uncharted series. I enjoyed every one of those games. All right, well, boys, let's jump into the show, shall we? The main meaty bits.
Yes.
All right, Grejio, we're going to kick off with your window shopping from this week.
Sure, let's do that.
Yes, so what's that?
All right, so I was looking through this week's game releases, and I was going to do Zombie Golf, but I went to do research and found out there was a million Zombie Golf games, and I couldn't lock down which one was the real one, so I was defeated. And I went back to the list and went, all right, do again. I went through, looked at it, and another game jumped out at me called Black Desert, so I went and did some digging on that. It's going to be released on the 22nd of August, which I believe is Thursday. So usually by this time, you guys it's already done by then. It should be $99. It's an MMORPG.
Yes.
This is Black Desert Online, right?
Yeah, only it's coming to PS4.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's got some big boasts. I was looking at the official game website for PS4, and it boasts incredible customization, revolutionary action-packed combat, an expansive open world, which they said a truly open world, deeply rewarding life skills, and player-driven economy.
What's just an open world? What's a truly open world? What the hell does that? This sounds like just overboard marketing is what this sounds like.
This is why I call them rather large boasts, as opposed to, any kind of true kind of, here's some facts about our game. They like to use the phrase "become your true self" a lot on this website.
This just sounds like
Become
they
your
got
true
like
self.
a brand new up and coming marketing company to do all their marketing, and they've just gone overboard with talking shit about their game. It's an MMORPG open world game. That's it. And
yes.
I don't think it breaks much ground from what I've heard.
No, and from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to break much ground. But look, they say there's a heap of, you can either go do combat, you can train yourself in a trade. They reckon any path you decide to take is going to be lucrative, can be lucrative, I believe they say, just to cover off when it's not. The whole player-driven economy is the fact that everything in the game is sold through a central marketplace, and it's stocked by the players. There's nothing that's generated by the game itself. If it's in the marketplace, it's because someone's selling it and all that jazz. Once again, this is not an earth-shattering thing. There's a lot of MMORPGs that do this. There's even games that aren't RPGs that do this.
One thing to put in perspective, and Luke, correct me if I'm wrong, but Repami is a bit of a MMO fan, yeah?
Yeah, he plays quite a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, and when there was some information released a month or two back in regards to Black Desert coming onto PS4, he was actually excited about it. So I think he's played it on PC quite a bit, and the fact that it was coming from the quick chats that we had just on via Discord, I think it was just that it was a good thing that was coming to PS4. So I'm assuming there'd be a few people excited for it.
Well, let me point out something that I think you might find interesting, okay? This was released on the 25th of May, 2017 on PC. Right, so it's been out for quite a while. And how much did you say it was going to be on the PlayStation 4?
I looked at the PlayStation Store, and it was $99.
$99, or if you've got a reasonable PC, you can own this fantastic game with real open world, or whatever they said it was, for $13. Truly open world. Truly open world.
$13
for $13 Australian.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Or if you prefer to use a control pad and limited with frame rate, go ahead and pay $99 on a PlayStation 4. What a joke. And that's why these asshole PC Master Race people jump up and have lots of ammunition to take the piss out of console gamers, is because of this shit. You get the game 2 years late and you get slammed with a full $99. Yeah, that's shit.
There you go.
Truly open world, though.
Truly, truly open world, and you can become your true self. I mean, how many games boast that you can become your true self?
The thing is, if I ever played a game where I became my true self, I don't think it'd be good.
I'm pretty sure that's called The Sims for you. Malevolent, godlike being where you just torture your minions. Anyway, for those that are still interested, even after all this bashing, it's a third-person game. It's kind of got a fantasy, medieval, Arabian kind of feel to it. It's got the usual tropes of an RPG, and there's big boss battles, and they look relatively good. The bosses look kind of cool. But yeah, look, as Lucas said, it's a 2-year-old game now. You're paying $99, and like I said, it seems to be boasting a lot, and I just don't see it delivering on any of those things.
And just in case you're wondering, because the PlayStation 4 version might be remastered X, Y, and Z, this is the remastered version I'm talking about on Steam.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of something that's promising a lot and probably not delivering, Lucas, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I played that today. It was still installed on my Xbox One, and I thought, hey, that's just had an update. I'm going to give that a go. And look, I didn't delve into it enough to sort of get the full extent of the update, but I thought I'll just have a look at it because it's been a long time since I've played it. And as it booted up, it threw me back into my save game because that's what I chose. And I've got to say, it's looking nicer. It's actually looking pretty good. And it has like that third-person mode now. I didn't even choose it. It just automatically switched to that, and I had no idea how to go back to first person. But that's good. I don't mind the third-person aspect. It's got like base building mechanics now, so you can. I think that came in a while ago. I don't think this was part of the new update.
While, yeah.
Yeah. But I mucked around with that a little bit today, and it was cool. But geez, it's still very grindy because you got to I managed to build like 2 platforms on the ground before I ran out of materials and had to go and pick up all the carbon and all that sort of stuff to make walls and floors. But I think there's also like a creative mode as well, kind of like Minecraft, where you can go and you don't need materials, you can just build stuff. But the game definitely looks a lot better than it did originally because I played it day one. And something I found out that they added, which I noticed when I first played it, but when you jump in your ship and you can fly across the planet's surface, you couldn't actually crash your ship. It would automatically like bounce you back off in another direction so you wouldn't crash.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, not ananymore. You can crash. Oh. Yeah, I found that out. Absolutely. But I didn't delve into anything that the new update had to offer. I just thought I'd boot it up and see what it looked like. And it's pretty good. And look, you know what? If they'd launched the game the way it is now, we would have had a really different game on our hands and a different reception. But unfortunately, we can't change the past, and they released it broken as broken things.
Yeah. Well, I've actually re-downloaded it today solely because I want to give the VR version a go. Because you can play it in PSVR now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that existed.
So I think it was like an 11 or 12 gig update. Though I was watching, I saw my brother come up on Twitter saying that ever since the update, it was just crashing on the PS4. So I don't know.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
I don't know if anything's changed there.
Yeah, that's a bit crap. There was. I saw some other tweets where there was a workaround for that.
Yeah.
I didn't really read into it too much because I didn't have the problem because I think it's a PlayStation issue because it wasn't on the Xbox. But yeah, I think there's a workaround. I think it's something silly like just reinstalling it or something like that. But yeah, the update broke on the PlayStation 4. Whoopsies.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about a game that we've all had a bit of a crack at this week? Minecraft.
Oh, yeah. Could say that.
Oh, yeah. You could say that.
I got shown up by my daughter today. I'll tell you that story when you're ready.
All right. Well, Minecraft, we killed the Ender Dragon last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you left, Lucas, we were running around looking for what are they called? Like the end castles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a whole lot of stuff on me, so I'm like, all right, Kaza and Az, they just ran off and went looking for it. I went back through the portal and just started working on my base a little bit more. And they ended up finding one of these castles and finding a whole lots of bits and pieces in it and going crazy as they do. And I've just been building lots and exploring lots and getting lost quite a few times. I actually had to get Kaz the other night to come through one of the portals and tell me the coordinates because I was completely lost in the world. I'd gone through a portal via the Nether, and then I was 1,280 blocks away from the portal in this other little area because I was looking for something. I just got turned around and I built myself a new base over there, which I thought was good. And, lots of fun. But what about you, Greg? How much have you been playing around with it this week?
Quite a bit, actually. I've been playing in the other realm that I started playing with at the same time as I started playing on the Age realm. I'm building a castle, another castle. Mm-hmm. This one's probably
Is that somewhere for you to put the princess?
Yeah, totally. Because Rem plays in there as well. Anyway, I've been doing that. At the same time, I've been doing a bunch of redstone for these guys because they need a redstone person. So I've been making a few auto farms for them.
I made a redstone thing.
A redstone thing? What do you make a redstone thing for?
I made a automatic smelter.
There you go.
Where you put the fuel in the bottom and the whatever you're doing in the top,
Smelting
and it runs on rails and just runs back and forward and just fills them all up and just keeps it going.
There you go.
And it actually works, which I was dumbfounded by. So that's
very
cool.
Good. Yeah.
Isn't that just a furnace?
Yeah, but it's an automatic furnace.
Yeah, it's automated.
Which part's automated? Or if you put, my experience with a furnace is you put the coal in and you put the ore in there, and then it automatically
what happens
just makes the ingots.
Instead of being locked at only being able to do one stack at a time, you can essentially fill a chest with multiple stacks, and it will circulate through them and do them all eventually and get them all done, and then pump them out at the other end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just walk along, dump your stuff in, keep walking. You don't have to worry about coming back every time a stack's done and start the process again.
Right, okay.
Yes, they're very handy to have. This is very resource hungry to make to begin with.
Mine wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Because it's only, I think it's only 6. So 6 furnaces,
right.
And then I've got 18 things that go underneath it.
Rails?
Yeah.
Hoppers?
No. Anyway, don't worry about it. I've gone blank.
Sure.
The rails on the back and the tracks with the minecart, the mine carts with the chest on them, and that's the one, the hoppers.
It's the hoppers. You were thinking about the hoppers before.
I was thinking about the hoppers before.
Yes.
Anyway,
fair enough.
Cool. I enjoy it. It works.
So,
that's my bit of excitement.
So I've made them some chicken cookers and stuff like that because food is always important, and I've just started with Rem's help. I've started creating some auto shearers. So we've got sheep of every color, and we've just plonking them in one at a time, like one farm at a time. We're just building them, and as we go, and they just automatically shear the sheep and just pump out the wool. So yeah, it's good fun.
And how did you get shown up today, mate, Luke?
Well, so last night we went into what did we do? We went and fought the Ender Dragon. Mind you, first time I've ever seen the Ender Dragon, and I got killed. And
we all got killed.
But then you've got to run all the way back, and I couldn't be asked, so I just dropped out. So anyway, I was talking to my daughter this morning, and I said, "Oh yeah, we went and fought the Ender Dragon last night, and I dropped out, but the other guys ended up killing it." And my daughter says to me, "Who got the dragon's head?" I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She said, "You get the dragon's head when you kill it." Look, that's news to me. I don't know. And then she jumped in on her iPad into the Age realm, and she saw the head. The head's been mounted in our town. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I haven't. I think Kaz ended up picking it up, but I haven't seen where they put it yet.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the town, just up on the wall, kind of like a mounted boar's head, like a trophy.
Yep.
And yeah, my daughter showed it to me. Like, you know what? I didn't even know that was a thing. And she knew because she's probably watched a lot of YouTube videos and knows all about it. And I had no clue because I died.
You can also wear it yourself.
Oh, can you?
You can.
That's morbid. That's disgusting. But of course you can.
And now that I know it's there, guess what I'm doing tonight?
You're going to go grab it and put it on your head.
Exactly.
And you're going to make yourself a naked skin.
Yeah.
Run around with a dragon's head naked going, "Look at me, I'm a dragon.
I've released the dragon."
Oh,
Look,
dear.
Mom, there's a dragon. That dragon's got a tiny cock.
It looks like a cock, only.
Yeah.
I think that's a female dragon.
Nope, just really cold. All right, well, moving on. The Division 2. I jumped back in a little bit more this week. I only need one more trophy, and then I have the platinum. But it is the
You've
biggest.
said that like for the last 8 shows. Get the bloody trophy already.
I can't. It's too hard.
Well, I can't help you anymore because I've given PS Plus the ass.
It's the hard. Well, it's classified as the hardest trophy in the game. It's just more a nuisance trophy than anything because you have to go rogue on a extraction in an occupied dark zone. So you pretty much have to cut the rope when someone else is extracting. It's quite difficult because the occupied dark zones they're toxic. They're like the original dark zone in Division 1. And everyone in there, they're running builds which are solely PvP builds. They go out of their way to go and hunt people in packs. And if you ever get to a point where you can get close to someone trying to extract anything, just getting close to that. Doesn't matter if there's only, one other thing on that extraction. As soon as you get close to it, for some unknown reason, all these people come from everywhere to destroy you.
Really? Is it really unknown? Do you not just think that like no platinum for you?
No, it's more just like, oh, look, there's someone single stacking. Let's just destroy him. And yes, that's what they do constantly to me. And my build's no slouch, and it's no slouch in PvP. Or my PvP build is no slouch, I should say. And it still just gets absolutely melted. But when you've got 4 people on one, that's just kind of what happens.
So what you're saying is that your character there's nothing wrong with your character. It's just the idiot controlling him.
Yeah. So I've got to talk to the idiot that's controlling me.
Yeah,
and
right.
to get good.
I'm pretty sure you talk to yourself every day, don't you?
No, you need to have a good long word with him.
I can't talk to myself, mate. The shit that I come up with, Jesus Christ.
I'll offend myself.
I'll be offended. Either that or I'll be frightened. Moving along, what the hell is Global Gladiators?
You don't know what Global Gladiators is?
No, I don't.
Oh, nice of you to follow me on Twitter.
Oh, no, this was the thing you're talking about on Twitter with the McDonald's thing.
Yeah.
See? That's because
Yeah,
that was from like 30 years ago. That's been removed from memory.
It's not 30 years exactly, but
It's pretty damn close.
Not exactly, but
is there a date on this thing? What does it say here? Patents? I don't know. But yeah, you've got the Mick and Mac, the Global Gladiators, and it's a McDonald's game on the Mega Drive, and it's really hard. I tried it the other day, and I tried it again today. I can't get past the first level still. I got stuck. I get stuck on the first level. It's a platformer game, and you run around with these guns that look like super soakers that shoot out this weird, like, slimy gack stuff. And these aliens have taken over the world. And you've got to collect...
It wasn't 30 years ago. I do apologise. It was 27.
Was it that long?
92, mate.
Yeah, wow. That's a long time.
Green goop are you talking about?
Well, it's...
About the end of your bloody hose?
Well, the thing at the back of
You see, doctor got that.
the cover says, strap on your Goo Shooter.
Nothing sus.
Join Mick and Mac, the global gladiators, on a quest to neutralize the monsters of Slime World, the mystical forest, toxic town, and Arctic world. Check out the bodacious backgrounds, the 1,250 awesome animation frames, and the most spacious sound around. Yeah, so that's what it says on the back of the box.
Did it seriously say bodacious on the back there?
Yeah. I'm not making this shit up.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's 27 years old right there.
Yeah.
That there, mate, that's worth the price you paid for it. Just the fact that you've got bodacious in print.
Bodacious.
It is, yeah. Check out the bodacious backgrounds. But the thing is, you got to play the level. You got to kill the enemies. Obviously, you've got to collect the little golden arches. So there's little M's that you got to collect, which are like the McDonald's golden arches. And if you don't collect enough of them, and I have no idea how many you need to collect, then Ronald McDonald doesn't show up at the end of the level, and you're just left in no man's land. But the thing is, before the end of the first level, there's a little bridge, but that collapses after you step on it. So if you go all the way to the end and Ronald McDonald isn't there, it'll come up saying you haven't collected enough golden arches. So you've got to go back and collect more. But because that bridge has fallen, because you've used it already, you're stuck. You can't finish the level. You know what? I don't know if I've ever in my life finished the first level of this game, and I make it my mission. I've now got it on my Raspberry Pi, which has quick save, so I can save it rather than dying constantly and having to restart. But I loved this game as a kid, and I'm starting to realise that I think that's a skewed reality where I was probably scarred by the game and have gotten rid of somehow, with some sort of coping mechanism, gotten rid of the bad memories, and all I remember is how much I enjoyed the game, even though it's stupidly hard. But that's what they did back then, because they had like kilobytes of memory, so they made the game stupidly hard, so it felt like you had so much game to play, even though it was really only like 20 minutes worth of game if you didn't die. But yeah, that's the Global Gladiators. I got that on the Mega Drive. I bought it on the Mega Drive, and I've also been playing it on the Raspberry Pi.
Well, why don't you talk us through the Raspberry Pi while you're going, mate?
Well, I've wanted one for a very long time, and I finally decided, bugger it, I'm going to get one. I'm too curious as to how this stuff all works. And I went and did some research and found that the Raspberry Pi 4 has just been released. So I went and grabbed one. Bought myself a case for it. If you don't know, Raspberry Pi 4 is like a single chip computer. So think of the computer in your desktop, except all of the components are like part of the motherboard. So the CPU's in there, the graphics cards in there, sound cards in there. Everything that you can think of is all just combined into one chip. And this chip is probably the size of... Maybe it's slightly narrower, but think of the size of a floppy disk. Remember a floppy disk? That's probably a shit example for kids.
Probably a CD case.
Actually, no. No. It's the size of a packet of smokes. That's probably another shit example for kids. It's pretty damn small, okay? And it's all integrated into one. It's got 4 USBs. It's got 2 USB 3, 2 USB 2. It's got an Ethernet port. We've got 2 micro HDMI outputs that are capable of outputting 4K 60 frames. And it's got a headphone jack, and it's got a USB-C power adapter. And Grejio's just put up a picture of it in the Discord. So there you go. And it also has a micro SD slot for basically the hard drive. Yeah, put that underneath it and that. So I've got a 32 gigabyte SD card in there, and I've got what's it called? Raspbian. Raspbian is the operating system that's running on it, and I've installed RetroPie, which is the retro game emulator that I've been playing my Mega Drive games on. Now, there's one glaring issue, which is pretty bad, with the Raspberry Pi 4. However, it can be rectified. There's no software out for it yet. So the software that is available is not compatible with Raspberry Pi 4. So it's essentially a brick, unless you do what I did and you use a workaround, which involves a tiny little bit of coding into the Raspbian for the Raspberry Pi 3. This is sounded a bit techie, but it's not that hard because I worked it out. But it's a little bit of coding, basically to allow the old software to be installed onto the new Raspberry Pi 4, and it works. So, yeah, I've been playing some retro games on the Raspberry Pi. Have you guys seen the Raspberry Pis before and been interested in them?
This is the first time I've heard about it, to be honest.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I've completely gone by me, to be honest. I'm looking at it now, just going, "This kind of cool."
This is the fourth generation. They've been around for a long time.
I'm acutely aware of this as I'm looking at it. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty awesome.
Well, what these are generally used for in sort of my interest areas is, like if you get yourself a gaming cabinet these days, like an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
It's probably got a Raspberry Pi running the whole thing. This tiny little thing.
You got this massive arcade cabinet and there's like this tiny little thing, and that's it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah, crazy.
Would something similar be in like some of these minis that are going around?
Essentially, yes. Whether or not it's an actual Raspberry Pi, I doubt that, because it would be like a copyright nightmare, because they would have to pay royalties to Raspberry Pi. But essentially, you could make exactly one of like a Mega Drive Mini or a NES Classic or a PlayStation Classic using one of these. If you just wanted to get an old shell for a console and put one of these in it, and you could just put the same emulation program and play those games straight off a Raspberry Pi. That's exactly what it is. There's a lot of applications for Raspberry Pi. There's putting them in quadcopters or drones to control your drone. They're nice and small and light, so they're good for those sorts of things. People use them for, have you heard? Oh, no, of course not. But Magic Mirror, where you can set up a mirror with a screen behind it, and it's basically a smart mirror that can be touchscreen and all that sort of business. So when you I've seen videos on that anyway, but it's almost like the sky's the limit. Robotics will use these sort of things because they're open source. You can do whatever the hell you want with them. I got it for the retro gaming, so that's what I'm going to do with it. Oh, and it's also got like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and everything like that installed as well. So I've been playing it using my PS4 controller. Just used it connected wirelessly. So
wow.
It's a pretty damn powerful little machine. The one that I've got in my hands here, the Raspberry Pi on its own was about $90. So it won't break the bank. And then, you can buy any plethora of cases that for about $10. So yeah, that's what a Raspberry Pi is. Loving it. And it's awesome. Good for a tinkerer. If you like to muck around with electronics and computers and stuff without getting too stupid, you don't have to do any soldering, nothing crazy like that. It all comes assembled. You just got to plug it in and install stuff. And I had really good fun doing it. I've already got my use out of this. The night that I got it, I spent like 4 or 5 hours just mucking around with it. It's cool.
Yeah, well, I'd never heard of it until you started talking about one.
Oh, wow. It's funny how things just,
So I'm just looking now,
Let's
like
go
the 4 gig RAM one, which is the biggest of the bunch for the 4. It's $110.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous, really.
Had I have known that there was a 4 gig one when I bought the 2 gig one, I probably would have bought that one because it's not much more than what I paid. But I didn't know it existed. I just saw that there was a 2 gig model and went, yeah, that'll do. But for what I want, retro gaming, that's plenty anyway. So,
2 gigs more than enough, yeah.
yeah, it's only the RAM, so it's not going to increase speed or anything like that. It's just going to be what you can do all at the same time. And most of these retro games that I'm playing, they're kind of in the kilobytes. So
Yeah.
I think 2 gig of RAM, I could probably run about 1,000 of those games at the same time.
Well, speaking of tinkering and retro games, I may have done something with my PlayStation Classic over the weekend.
Oh, yes. How did you go with that?
Quite easy, actually. So it's just pretty much a new boot sequence program. And once you've got everything done with it, you turn it on and it just starts up like normal. And then from there,
So what did it do?
Just puts a new boot program on it. So, but when you've got everything set up in the way that in this particular way that I did it, it just loads up like normal, and you can go into kind of like a sub menu, and from that sub menu, that's where you can load more games onto it.
Oh, okay, yep.
So I haven't actually looked for any other games yet. To be honest with you, off the top of my head, I don't know where to start looking to get them from, but yeah, I'll worry about that later on. I'm just sort of tinkering with it and having a bit of a play because I'm very similar to yourself. I enjoy getting in and doing things that, in this particular case, it's not overly frowned upon, but also not overly known.
Not in the spirit of the product.
Not in the spirit of the product, maybe. But I have no interest to go and outright hack it. But I've just got the ability now that if I can get another program or another file to play, even some of those original games that I really do enjoy, then I can find them and put them on.
You mean those original games that you currently do own, but that you're going to play a backup version of it? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, you can go and purchase them still.
Huh?
You can purchase the files of the original games. I'm not talking about going and finding them and hacking them. You can actually go and buy the games. You can buy files.
I'm pretty sure you're not buying them off the owner, though.
Yeah, well, that's why I haven't bothered looking into it yet.
Yes, but the point I was making is that if you download a ROM off the internet without actually owning that game, I believe that's illegal. But if you own the game...
To be honest with you, the one that I am most excited for is In Cold Blood, which I do currently own.
Right. And that's very legal, isn't it? Because you're playing on a backup copy. I think it works like that. I'm no lawyer. It's probably not. We're probably all going to get arrested, but whatever.
I'll worry about that if I ever actually get around to doing it.
That whole story I told you about the Raspberry Pi and playing all the games on it, made it up. It's all lies. I haven't even got one. Don't even know what it is myself.
I'm just talking shit.
That video I made and put up on YouTube, it's CGI.
CGI completely.
Lies.
All lies. He doesn't even have a beard in real life.
That's right. I don't. Go and check it out. It's on YouTube. CGI is brilliant.
Another game that I've had a quick play of this week is Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden.
Oh yeah, you guys were talking about that last week, and like it was a new release. What the go?
No, I think Road to Eden, because Mutant Year Zero came out last year. Sorry, I believe Road to Eden's like DLC for it.
Okay. Like, I don't know enough to argue that. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because I was very much the same when I saw that it was released. For anyone that cares, it's currently free on the Epic Store.
Yes,
if you want to have a crack at it.
Yeah, I got that today. It's on Game Pass too.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Is it actually Road to Eden that's on Game Pass or the original version?
I think it is, man, because that sounds familiar. And I've downloaded it twice, but still haven't played it because I keep getting turned off by the fact that it's like XCOM. It's like a turn-based sort of weird. It's just not my. It looks amazing, but I don't think I could be able to get into it.
I thought the same thing. So I played it when it first came on Game Pass ages ago, and was a bit, how you going? But it intrigued me, and I downloaded it, and I've been playing it on the PC. It lends itself to PC a lot more. The bit that I enjoy, like I'm not big on turn-based games, but one thing that I wanted to point out was it's exceptionally tactical. You've got where you have your movements within the grid section. The grid you can move it so that you're behind cover, or if you want to, try and do a really strong shot, you've got to move within, firing distance of the enemy as well. So you've got to be really tactical about it, and that's the bit that's really caught my attention. That's
not for me. I don't think.
I don't know. I reckon you'd get a bit of kick out of it.
It sounds very much like XCOM and all those kind of, say, like Fallout Tactics and stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
Yeah, so it isn't for everyone, but the fact that you're playing as these mutants that are still living on Earth, but Earth's been destroyed. It's the big fallout. It's all this sort of stuff. You're doing things for the Ark, which is the like the place that these mutants live and whatnot, and it's got all this quirkiness to the story, and the fact that you're one of the characters, a duck whose name is Dux, and he's talking about going and grabbing a grog with the boys, and just there's all these weird little things to it that's hard to explain, but it's well worth it. If you've got Game Pass, or like I said, currently free. I think it'll be free for a few more days on the Epic Store once this comes out, but it's a good bit of fun. What else? Well, Greg, anything extra with Car Mechanic?
So I have one thing I need to change about what I spoke about last week.
Yeah.
So remember I talked about save games, and you can only have one, and each variant of the game is essentially a save game and all that jazz?
Mm-hmm.
So Rem was playing it, and she started playing the sort of campaign mode. And anyway, I was like, yeah, cool. I let her play, and then later on she was playing sandpit mode, and I was like, oh, did you give up on the campaign? And she went, no. She goes, I just started a new game, but I've got 2 saves. And I said, how the hell did you do that? And she told me that what you have to do is you actually have to log out of your profile and log in with a different profile within the game. So you actually have multiple profiles in the game. So yeah, so essentially it's one more way that they've made this kind of protracted old school. It's not great. It's not great. But look,
that's a real shame that they've put all this stuff into it, because I was so just biting at the bit, ready to play Car Mechanic Simulator.
Once I'm in the game, I love playing this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Can you get a Nissan Maxima that has ABS issues, cruise control, and horn doesn't work?
Yes.
Right. Well, let's see if they can fix my frigging car that the mechanics in real life couldn't.
I'd have a few guesses.
You know what? You know how I fixed the car in the end? I bought a new one.
You bought another Nissan, didn't you?
Yeah.
You bought another Nissan though.
No, I bought a Suzuki.
Beep, beep. Before we jump into your rundown, Lucas, a quick g'day to Kazza, Pickles of Brine, and Radicus. Radicus is driving home, so no Radicus, no chattings allowed.
Yeah, I hope your phone's on the approved holder.
In the approved holder through Bluetooth. I know everything runs a little bit slower in South Australia, but still, safety first.
And if not, let's all of us say hi to the police officer that's pulled him over for using his phone while driving. Hello, officer.
Don't check the boot.
Go easy on him. He's a nice bloke. He's really old. He can't afford it. He's on the pension.
Oh, leave him alone.
Oh, he's a good
Right
man.
now he's swearing at us.
Yeah, he can't write back.
Can't write back.
Oh, dear. We're going to get him in trouble because he's going to grab his phone and fucking throw it. All right.
Lucas, hypercharge.
Hypercharge. Yes. Now, what was the full name of it? Hypercharge Unbox or something? Unbox?
Yeah,
And look, this game is. I got a text message from a friend of mine, and he said, "Hey, we should have a look at streaming this game." And I had a look at the trailer, and it just hook, line, and sinker. I was like, "I'm buying that. That looks sick." It was like a first-person shooter, but a wave defense, right? So but the cool part is that you played as an action figure. And you're either in a toy shop or you're in a bedroom full of toys or you're in a backyard, and it just really looked heaps cool. It's not very good at all. I played it. I live streamed it the other day, and it's really disappointing. The graphics.
I must admit, you got sidetracked very easily while playing it.
Sidetracked? Did I? What do you mean? Like I went and played something else?
Went and played something else.
Yeah, and that ended up being better, and it was free. But yeah, this game was about $20, and the graphics are amazing, and the gameplay is really good, but it's just empty. The game's dead. There's no one playing. That's not the biggest issue, but the AI in the game is probably the worst AI I've ever seen. The enemies come out of nowhere, and I mean literally nowhere. They just like spawn in. Some of them come in through open doors, but some of them just go, "Hey, I'm here." And they don't really attack you at all. They just go for the things that you're meant to be defending, which I don't even know what they are. But you put batteries in them and try to protect them. And if you're playing on your own, it's so hard because there's 3 or 4 objectives to keep safe, and you can't see them from where you are, like from everywhere. You've got to kind of keep an eye on it, and it's really hard to do on your own, and it just wasn't fun. It just looked so much better than it is. I don't know. I think I've paid $20 to play it for about an hour, and that's about it. So I think I've been ripped big time because it's not really that cool. But anyway, yes, I did get sidetracked. Uncle Chunt was watching me, and he asked me if I'd played a game called what is it? Unbeatable or something?
Undefeated.
Undefeated. I should have a list somewhere. I don't. Undefeated. And I had actually looked at this game and watched the trailer, but then sort of passed it off and went, no, not playing that. Because I thought it was something completely different to what it actually is. And Uncle Chunt talked it up big time, going, "Oh, it's got some awesome like Superman flying mechanics and it's really good." It's like 2 gigabytes and it's free to play, so I've downloaded it. And Uncle Chump was telling me, educating me about how, like, I think he said 4 people made the game, and I think it's like a university assignment or something like that. Anyway, I downloaded the game and I played it, and you play as this like Johnny Bravo looking superhero guy, and like there's a dedicated button for a superhero landing. Is that like not a winner or what?
That sold me, that one.
So, and you like, I was using an Xbox controller. So you just press, so you jump, and then you jump, like double jump, and you'll start flying. And then you click in the left stick like a sprint, and you'll like just zoom, like super fast flying. And you can fly around the whole map. And basically the game is, there's like heaps of side missions where you got to go put out, well, when I say heaps, there's heaps of the same kind of side missions. You're either putting out flames, lifting up cars off innocent people, or massive rocks off citizens and saving their lives, or you can go do sort of like main missions where you've got to do a boss battle. And this whole game, right, is probably the best concept for a superhero game that I have ever played. There needs to be some sort of developer or publisher out there that sees this game and says, I want to throw a lot of money at you to develop this into a Superman game, or to develop this into its own game, because if you look past the rough edges, that's gold. That game, undefeated. Go and download it. Go and have a go. If your PC can run it, have a go at that thing and try to have like an open mind and sort of switch off to the bits that are janky. You know, some of the graphics don't look that great. The controls are a little bit rough. Look past all that stuff and take it for just face value on what it can be because of what it already is. And I think superhero game fans will want that game to be made properly because it's bloody brilliant. So there's a glowing praise for that. So $20 game pissed me off and a free one blew my mind.
Free one blew your mind. And you did nothing but talk it up while you were playing it, which was good.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were there. You'd know.
Yeah, I was there. You completely missed it. I was the one talking. You thought it was Uncle Chunt still.
I thought it was Uncle Chunt talking because he's got a blue and white logo, right? The UC. And you don't have a logo because I was on Mixer and you don't have a logo yet. And the standard logo is blue and white.
Blue and white.
So just sort of out of the corner of my eye, I just saw the text and thought it was Uncle Chunt still talking. So I didn't even notice you were there until the end. Sorry about that. That was a bit rude, but you know.
That's all right. I was there. I was supporting. That's all that mattered.
You were.
I was supporting my mate while he was on Mixer. So don't forget to, if you're listening in, jump over to Mixer. And what is it over there? Just Aussie Gamers Experience?
Oh, I got no idea.
One of them. We'll have a look. We'll put links somewhere.
Oh my.
I think it's Age XP, AGE XP.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not really. Am I losing much going over to Mixer? I haven't made the decision to switch over to Mixer, but the thing I think of on Twitch, I've got how many followers? 1,500 or so.
Something like that.
I've got 12 on Mixer. Still get the same amount of people watching me. 2.
Yep.
Oh dear, no love lost. But anyway.
Funnily enough, my my streams have been have been on the rise. I've been quite enjoying a bit of stuff over there.
Talk it up, Jess. Come on.
Yeah, where you're getting 2, I'm getting 3, maybe 4. Like,
oh Jesus, it's double.
I had one where I had I think 52, but was very short. They weren't around for very long.
Yeah, that's all right then.
Mate, the last one for you, Castlevania. What were you playing Castlevania on?
On the Xbox One. It was one of those free.
Oh, yes, the Games with Gold.
It was Games with Gold. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yeah, of course it was.
I remember I said on the last podcast I was on, I said, look, I'll give that a go. So as a man of my word, I booted it up and played it. And that's not a bad game, that. It was a little bit strange. It's one of those games where I actually was a bit confused when it started and I thought, did maybe Repremier play this on my account? Because I think I'm at the last level. Because this looks like a boss. This is like a boss fight is the first thing you do. And no, that is the beginning of the game. It's one of those games that you start off, because I think it's a sequel. Mm-hmm. It's like not the first game. So you start off and you're like super powerful. You've got all these abilities and you fight Dracula, right? And then at the end, what happened? I can't remember what happened, but you lose all your powers. That's right. You run into some entity that strips you of all your gear and all your powers. So it's one of those games, kind of like Destiny 2, where you lose everything and you got to start from scratch again. And then you go through the motions and build yourself back up again. And it's actually pretty impressive. Look, I don't know when that game was made, because it looks like a Mega Drive game, but it plays like a lot more recent game, because you've got you level up. It's got like RPG mechanics where you level up, you find weapons that that have a power rating, and you can upgrade to better weapons as you find them, and you get XP and all that sort of stuff. It's very strange to see like a game that looks like that but plays so much more modern. That's a pretty cool game, Castlevania. It's brutal, it's hard, and I couldn't find anywhere. Yeah, and it's got permadeath too. I don't know if it was a particular mode that I was playing, but when I died, I went back to the main menu and couldn't continue. I had to like start a new game by naming my character again and starting from scratch. Like, I don't know what I was doing wrong if that's not the case, but yeah, permadeath. Ooh, yeah. Good game, but that'll do me.
No, thank you.
And being a back compact game, I was wondering if it would be like have quick saves and saves on the fly, but I couldn't find any of that. It's just old school. If you die, you're dead. Tough titties.
Dead.
Don't cry into a tissue.
All right, guys. Well, that's enough for games that we've played. Unless you guys have had anything more pop into your head before we move on.
Yeah, one other game did pop in for me actually.
Mm-hmm.
I won't harp on it, but remember I bought. I don't know. Did I talk about this last time? Doom 3 on the Switch.
Yes, you did.
I did talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've probably said my piece about how it's shit, but anyway, all right. Great.
No, you haven't. You haven't actually said anything. You bought it that day. You hadn't really played it yet.
That's right. Yes, I bought it just before the last podcast.
But spoiler, you think it's shit.
Yeah. Whoopsies. Have you guys played Doom 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like the furthest thing away from a Doom game that I've ever seen. Actually, you know what? I'll correct myself. It's not shit. It's not shit. It's actually a pretty good game, but it's not a
really
Doom game. It's not Doom. It doesn't feel like Doom, doesn't look like Doom, doesn't play like Doom. It's slow. It's jump scary. It's more of like a suspenseful horror.
Yeah.
Kind of like a first-person Resident Evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no, not a shit game. A shit Doom game, but not a shit game because it's actually pretty good. But yeah, I'm playing it going, the only thing Doom about this is the name, really.
Yeah, the name and essentially the enemy archetypes.
Yeah. And it was weird because Doom guy speaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was lots about that game that people just went, yeah, you done fucked up on this one.
Yeah, not a good Doom game, but a decent game on its own. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, great. Well, I think you were about to say something, were you?
If people want to catch you on Mixer, it is under the Age XP.
Oh, the Age XP, is it?
No, just Age XP. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay. So AGE XP. Very good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, boys, let's say we jump into some news.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I've got a couple of bits of news this week, and starting it off, I'm going to return to my rant from last week. DayZ being banned in Australia because we're a bunch of pussies. Well, not us.
We're not pussies.
The classification board and the Australian government is. Now, the reason I am going back towards that is because Bohemia has now caved, and DayZ will now be changed the world over to conform with Australia's special requests. And in case you didn't pick up, I think that's bullshit. The funny thing about this, though, a senator has now come out and said that having this banned in Australia has made us look like a wet blanket and, of course, a laughing stock on a worldwide scale. Now, this is Tim Quilty, the Liberal Democratic Party member of the Victorian Legislative Council, which I'm actually in a bit of shock that someone has actually come out and said this, and especially someone from the Liberal Democratic Party. Some of the things he said is what makes his ban, especially absurd is that Australia has an R18 classification for video games. Refusal classification should be reserved for legal materials like child pornography and snuff films that should never have been created in the first place. It should not be used for zombie survival video games.
Well said. Yeah. I
think that's exceptionally well said. We have an R18 classification there that is not being used. We are being, it's being banned for essentially, the cannabis reference in it. There's other parts of the world that are actually legalizing cannabis, yet we're banning it we're banning a video game because it's being represented in digital form.
Yeah, it's not even real use.
Yeah, and it's in digital form that's in files within the game. It's not actually able to be used currently in the game. So these are all things that are just coming up, and it's just I find it quite funny. There is a speech available. I'll put the link in the Discord, and I'll try and get it up on our Facebook page or somewhere else as well, so you can actually watch the video and see the speech and see what you think. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on the matters. Well, how about you guys? Before I ramble on with something else you said.
I've been watching The Boys, which is the exclusive series on Amazon Prime TV or whatever it's called. And there was a scene in the episode that I watched last night, and spoiler alert, but I won't give away too much. But there's a scene where this chick, who's obviously some sort of mutant or superhero or something, she punches this person in the stomach, like repeatedly, but that like her fists like go into his stomach and like rip him to shreds, and just constantly just decimates this guy's like chest cavity sort of thing, right? And the thing that came to mind was this sort of shit is in TV shows, yet what they ban video games for is so pathetic compared to what they'll allow on TV. This is like it's completely mind-boggling. And mind you, The Boys, this TV show, has got references to sexual assault. Like I'm talking like it's pretty much rape is what it is. It doesn't show it, but it's implied, and you see some pretty bogus shit, and that stuff's all okay for it to be aired in Australia, but a little 5-leafed cannabis plant, that's no good. We can't have that in our video games. And as you said, it's not even in it. It's just in the coding.
Yeah.
It's bloody ridiculous. We have this conversation like once a year at least.
At least. Yeah.
Because there's at least one game that has to go through this process every year, and there has to be an outcry, and people are like, oh yeah, that's right, we're shit. And then we forget again for another year after it all calms down.
The dumbest thing this year is that this game's been available in Australia for like the last 10 years at least.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're like, ban that one.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, because they wanted to make it available in brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, that's the difference. Just stupid.
And therein is another ridiculous point to this whole thing. You go, so it's okay to sell it digitally, but as soon as it's bricks and mortar, the rules change? Why? We're still playing the same fucking game.
Yeah, that's because of a different classification system. That's my biggest gripe with this whole thing. Is that the way that we get games classified in Australia is broken.
Yes,
and we've got people who do not understand the industry, who do not understand the effects, who are just quite happy to get swept up in the media sensationalization of it all, and they're the ones that are making the decisions, and those decisions are wrong. And time again, we go through this, and I just find it's comical, that there's very little options for people who do have the industry knowledge to actually go out there and make a difference on something like this, because it is so tightly controlled by those without the knowledge, I guess. The whole thing needs to be overhauled, I think. But something a bit more fun. Lucas. Cliffy B.
Won't let it be. I like how you said that.
What's he doing?
Well, look, for those that don't know, Cliff Bleszinski is the creator of the Gears of War franchise. He is a creator of Jackrabbit, and he made quite a few video games. He also made that Radical Heights game. I believe that was his last hurrah before he retired and basically gave up video games. He also made that other really bad game that didn't work. Well, do you remember the name of that one? That online game?
I know which one you're talking about.
I can't.
It was
remember.
only recent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like
recent.
it was supposed to be similar to like Overwatch,
Yeah.
and was just poo. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it failed. He's had a lot of failed attempts at games, which is a shame because he has made some brilliant stuff in his time. But anyway, he's in retirement, and if you follow him on Twitter, he's got some mental health issues because he's had a rough trot right over the years, and his latest tweet just sort of bleeds "I need help." And it also sort of hints at something that may be occurring. Maybe let me read the tweet first. All right, this is Cliff Blazinski on the 15th of August, just last week. He says, guys, I kind of have a game idea and it won't get out of my head. I thought I was truly done, but then stupid brain shows up. Okay, so that's his tweet, right? And then he follows it up with a reply saying, and it's not a fucking battle royale game.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
He clearly has a thing for battle royale games.
Yeah, well, that was his last attempt was that Radical Heights, which was a battle royale game. And so the internet sort of responded with this by, thinking, all right, so Cliffy B's going to come out of retirement and probably have a go at this game that he's been thinking about. The only issue is, which is something I've read, which makes a lot of sense, is that coming out of retirement to create a video game is not the easiest of tasks because he's either got to start up a new game development company himself, which is obviously a big task, or he has to pitch it to a developer or a publisher and get them to buy the idea and take it on board, which is also quite a task. And with his recent track record, probably would be even harder for him. But yeah, anyway, that's sort of done the rounds on Twitter, and people are expecting him to come out of retirement. I personally, for his own benefit, think he probably shouldn't. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You know what? There is room in the gaming scape at the moment for quality Cliffy, but
he's gone. But quality Cliffy's been gone. I was
going to say it's been gone a long time. Unreal was, quality Cliffy.
Yeah.
Unreal Tournament was quality Cliffy. That's and his efforts in Gears of War and stuff like that.
The bit that worries me about what you said was that his tweet cries for help.
Oh yeah, I think it does because
I see where you're coming from. I know he's had the last couple of semi-success and failures hit him pretty hard.
Yeah, massively.
And that's kind of, and let's be honest, he didn't exactly retire from the spotlight on a high. If there's an ability there for him to have some sort of level of redemption and something to do, then I believe he'll at least get an ear. People will listen to him and they'll see what he's got. Whether it goes any further, I personally don't think he will start another production company, or if he does, he will he'll get together with people that he knows that he trusts and he's close to. Either that or Microsoft will buy him because they've bought everyone else.
Yeah.
Look. I think there's enough respect in the gaming industry still for him to at least, like I said, get an ear. So, hey, let's just keep an open mind and see what he comes up with. But it'd be good to see. It'd be good to see him in full swing as long as he's happy and healthy.
The only thing that I would be against it for, and this is for his own sake, like another absolutely gut-wrenching blow, this could finish him off. This could kill the bloke. Because I'm a follower of him on Twitter, and some of the shit that he tweeted when all of the stuff was going down with the failure of his last couple of games, the guy was in a bad place. He even went to the point where he goes, I'm leaving Twitter for a while. I've got some personal stuff to sort out. And I'm like, wow, and some of his tweets, I don't remember them, but I remember my reaction to them was like, wow, this dude's dealing with some shit
as well. Yeah,
he's not right. He's got some problems. I just don't want this to be like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah,
and for the bloke to, I don't want to see one day. And I might be overreacting because I don't know the bloke completely, but just this is my idea of him now. I don't want to see something where, he's topped himself or something like that. I just don't want that day to come. I just want him to leave it be. Go and enjoy your life. Do something. Get a garden or something.
And the video game industry isn't exactly well renowned for having an environment that's conducive to, a good mental health state,
Yeah, unfortunately, that's very true.
He's only reasonably young still, though, isn't he?
Yeah. He wouldn't be much older
44?
than us.
He's 44.
Yeah,
he's born in 75.
Right. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
Anyway, I wish the bloke all the best. I know what it's like though. When you feel like you've got unfinished business. You're like, you got this thing, or I want to do this,
and you've got something that won't leave you alone in your head. Then, yeah, I well know that. There's been times where I've woken up in the middle of the night and just had to write something down, and I can always remember one night I wrote poetry. I hate poetry, and I had to write.
Did you want editing Lucas to remove that bit?
No.
No, that was very emotional. That was very raw. That was very real.
Well, the thing is that I wrote it. I had to get it out of my head, and this is what I mean. Where I'm going, I had to get it out of my head, and I did publish it on my own blogger site that I've got, and it got absolute massive positive feedback. So I'm quite happy that I did it, even though it was just complete and utter left field. It just had to get out of my head, and funnily enough, never got the urge to write something like that again. Good stuff. Grejio.
Cliffy just needs to take his $16 million worth of net worth, just buy a shitload of Raspberry Pis and just get it out of his system in his little Raspberry Pis.
Yes.
I think Greg missed the segue.
All right.
I did miss the segue. I was too busy thinking about Cliffy with like 1 million Raspberry Pis just working
daisy chained together.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Well, Greg, a game that I absolutely love is getting a bit money grabby. Rainbow Six's Battle Pass and
all of the other bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rainbow Six Siege is getting a bunch of updates under Operation something or other. I didn't care about the name. It wasn't important to me. What was important to me was
Season 4. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Season 4. So you'll get 2 new operators. Amaru is the first one from Peru, apparently. Her thing is she's got a new auto grapple hook thing, which will speed her up walls and stuff like that and allow her to kick people through windows and kill them with a single kick.
It's Operation Ember Rise.
Okay. Operation Ember Rise. So it's Season 4. It's Operation Ember Rise, and you'll get Amaru, and you can do a super kick with a grappling hook that will kill you if you stand too close to the window. There's also Goyo from Mexico, who has a shield for cover. Wow, what a great concept that is! But it also has an incendiary bomb attached to it to kill people with fire.
That's cool.
Anyway,
another shielded character. Yeah, okay.
No. The map canal is getting a rework to make it easier to move around on, and then we're getting Battle Pass. So phase 1 of its development is they're bringing out a mini pass. I don't know what that means, but it's coming.
It's free,
and then it will launch in Season 3 of Year 4. For free on release. So all the information I got seems like gobbledygook, like no one really knows what they're actually planning, and then the rest of the game's getting a general tidy up there, like changing menus and stuff like that, to just a bit of housekeeping and
every new season, Rainbow Six gets a bit of a facelift. So things get tweaked. Maps get certain tweaks done to them. Different changes. Different entry exit points, all that sort of jazz, just to sort of liven it up and freshen it up a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be any sort of chat about how much the battle pass is. Just that there's this free on release thing that's coming. So, but that doesn't make sense as a battle pass either, because I'm like, why have a battle pass if it's for free? Anyway,
well, the free battle pass is designed. I think it's got it's either over 7 days or 7 stages, and it's designed like any other battle pass. The more you play it, the more you get from it.
Yep.
And the same with the paid version. And again, it's some of the things. So with the yearly passes with Rainbow Six, so you got to remember when Rainbow Six came out, it was $100 game, and then you had all the original operators, which were not unlocked. You had to unlock them. Now you could either buy the original season pass, or you could play the game and unlock them that way. And that's the way that I did it. And then from there, each year and each season, you got new operators, new add-on to it. You're now on to, I believe it's season 4. And yeah, again, that's $40 a season to get those things. And then you've now got this battle pass on top of that. Plus you've got the microtransaction store. And like I said, all of this can be earned with in-game currency, but it's another thing that's another dollar that's put on it. And that seems to be the general response that I've seen.
Yep.
I literally found out about this before the show, so I've had about 3 minutes of looking at it, but everything I saw was negative from the general public towards it.
Yeah. Look, from what I read, it was similar. So there's negativity about it's more money, but then there's the other thing of this whole. There's a pass, there's a mini pass. There seems to be this weird sort of. No one really knows what. It's just gobbledygook. What they're putting out there as an explanation. It's all just very confusing, and I guess we'll work it out as it comes out. But that doesn't fill a lot of people with hope when you're trying to sell a new concept. It's going to be worth more money to people for a game that they've been playing for however long. So
that's all right. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll update as details come out. I'm going to jump into something a bit more fun. Mortal Kombat, March 2021. The Mortal Kombat movie is coming out, and I've got some casting information. I'm going to read a whole lot of names, and then I'm going to put some images that I found into our Discord chat. So those people listening along, and it'll just be in the live chat in Discord. If you want to know the details, they'll be in there, and I'll try and get something up as we go as well. Luddy, I'm not sure. He was in Aquaman. 1D, Ludi. Ludi. Yeah. He was in Aquaman and Power Rangers. He's set to play Liu Kang. Mikard Brooks. He's from. He's from Necessary Roughness, but I think he was also in Supergirl, the CW series. He's going to be Jax. Someone by the name of Sissy Stringer. She's a newcomer. She'll be Melina. It's not yet confirmed, but Tadanobu Asano he's in talks to play Raiden. So he was actually in Thor Ragnarok. Now, did both you guys see Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Nope. Haven't seen it.
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, Greg, he's the guard that says to Thor's sister that we don't know who you are.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
That's him. So he's in talks to play Raiden, and when you see him in Ragnarok and you think of him as Raiden, it's like shit, that could work.
Yeah, just put a little hat on him and woo, you're there.
Done. Pretty much. And then a bloke from Fast and the Furious, Joe Tazalim, is playing Sub-Zero. So if you have a look in Discord, there's a whole lot of images I've just chucked up for you.
So you have. Right. Yeah, Liu Kang. Yep, he's an Asian dude. That works. Jax, he's a black dude that's really buff. That works as well. Raiden, well, looks nothing like Christopher Lambert. But,
Christopher Lambert doesn't look like Christopher Lambert anymore.
but yeah, okay, cool. Sub-Zero, well...
I mean, you just have to have eyes.
Anything. Yeah, that's right. He's got eyes, so yeah, very good.
Go. Yep.
And who's that? Melina?
Yeah,
Melina.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Sissy Stringer. So she's a newcomer. I haven't been able to find a lot of information on her as yet.
She's very pretty without the extra set of teeth. So we'll see how that goes. Look, they look like they could do the part. I don't know any of them.
I know the bloke playing Liu Kang, and as terrible as I must admit, I do know him from Power Rangers, the latest movie. Uncle Chunt, when you're listening, mate, you'll know this as well. I think he'll work pretty well. The bloke playing Jax, yeah, he's everything that I've seen him in. He doesn't have that Jax mentality, so I'm not sure. Raiden, yep, and Sub-Zero. Well, that's Sub-Zero. You don't really have to say much.
You need to be able to fight.
You just got to be able to fight, yeah, and ice things over. So the movie's shooting in South Australia, and there was an open casting call last weekend.
Radica's got the part.
He did.
Yeah, he's going to play Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn, all right.
Your soul is mine.
Oh, he's so going to fucking kill me.
Yep. All right. Well, while we're going on movies and whatnot, I'm going to throw back something not exactly gaming related, but it's a throwback to our childhood, and it's good old Netflix, and it involves someone who I have great admiration for, being Kevin Smith. It is Masters of the Universe Revelation, a Netflix original anime series. So He-Man is being reborn on Netflix. It's got some information, the whole lot of different writers from people that have written for Supergirl, Reign of Superman, Magic, and Alphas. They're all going to serve as writers. The Powerhouse Animation, which is the studio behind Castlevania series, is doing the animation. Kevin Smith will be creating the show, directing it, however you put about it. But there's been no release date.
My Shao Kahn joke would have made more sense had I'd said the character that I was actually thinking of, which was Shang Tsung. My bad.
It's all right. I knew who you were talking about, which is why I quoted
knew
the
where you were
line.
going. Chuckle along with it.
So, question. Master Universe, is Prince Adam still going to be super gay?
Look, Kevin Smith is a bit of a fanboy of all things 80s and 90s, so there's a good possibility that yes.
Yeah, cool.
Look,
gay representation in anime, I think needs working on. So,
let's be honest, though. Prince, there was nothing wrong with Prince Adam when we were younger.
I'm not saying there was anything wrong with that. I'm just, he's clearly gay.
Who's Prince Adam?
He-Man's alter ego.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep, I remember.
Did you always hear that? That was the collective eye roll of everyone that listens to this show. Sorry, Luke.
I think you're right, but I don't. I think you're right, but I don't think the same reason. There's a whole bunch of people. I don't think our listenership actually was alive. Most of them weren't alive when He-Man was a big thing, so they're all just rolling the eyes at all three of us, just going, "They're talking about that cartoon."
I'm not. I'm fucking listening and trying to remember. This is too old for me.
Oh God, Radicus, why are you in the car? You'll be helping me out here.
So the TV series of He-Man was released in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was the year I was born.
Yeah, I was going to say, so were you.
Yeah, that's right. I was released in 1983 too. So, but apparently he first appeared in toys before he appeared in TV show. He was a toy in 1982.
Cool. Look at that. Every day's a school day. Keep it rolling. See what I did there? Need for Speed, mate.
Need for Speed, yes. I've got to be excited about something this week. So the new Need for Speed got its trailer released this week. It's a theatrical trailer, let's call it. It's not really.
You were excited about that?
Hey, look, it's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, God.
All right. You got to remember, I like car games.
You know it's going to be a shit one, though.
Oh, look, I'm telling you right now, it'll be as arcade as hell. But the thing I do like about Need for Speed games is, culturally wise, they are very in touch with car culture. And that's what I like about them.
If they are in touch with car culture, I'm glad I'm not a car nut, because those games are shit.
Yeah. So the cars, the modification, all the sort of brands that go along with it, it's very, very in touch with young car culture.
I'll correct myself there. I don't think the games are rubbish, but geez, the attempts they make at stories in those games is the worst I've seen.
Yeah, no, the stories are rubbish, or always have. But they're good. I put them down like Fast and Furious movies. Like, these days, they have about as much to do with cars as an Apple does. But they're good. You switch your brain off. You watch the pretty cars drive past. And then at the end of it, you turn your brain back on and go, I really enjoyed that. That just being able to just get washed up in the explosions and revvy engines of the movie. The same thing with Need for Speed. I just get washed up in the car culture, the modification of the cars. Driving the cars, it's arcadey. It makes you look awesome even though you're not doing anything. So, anyway, Need for Speed Heat is what it's called. There's not a great deal we can glean about the game from it, except for the fact that I think it's going to have a day-night cycle, as opposed to the last two games, which were, one was very fixated during the day, one was very fixated during the night. And I realized that my voice is going very rapidly for some reason, and I apologize for that. Another thing I got from it, it's got a very watchdoggy kind of vibe to it. This whole bring down the establishment, kind of fight the power, Big Brother's watching us kind of vibe to it. That's just what I got out of the trailer. But look, it looks interesting. I don't think it's going to bring anything new to the table. I think it's going to be very similar to the last two games. But, when you're on they're making money off it. And when you're on a winning ticket, why screw with the formula?
Well, have they given a release date for that? I guess it'll be November sometime.
Look, that would be a safe bet.
Safe bet, yeah.
Let me just have a quick look.
Whenever it is, it's too soon.
All right, well, while you're looking at that, mate, we'll jump into the last bit of news that I've got. Ben Irving, who was, I believe, the creative lead on Anthem, is moving on from BioWare.
Getting
off that ship.
the first rat to leave.
Earlier this week, after 8 amazing years at BioWare, I've made the decision to move on and accept an exciting opportunity at another gaming company. Since the first time I played Baldur's Gate many, many years ago, BioWare was the dream place I always wanted to work. Then he goes on for saying he's grateful and he's looking forward to seeing Anthem from the sidelines, yada, yada, yada.
Arguably, that's where all the developers are watching it from, the sidelines.
I'm finding they've been doing that for a little while now too.
This turn did not even come into my mind when I was looking at this earlier. I should have known better. He's the lead producer on Anthem. There's no real information on where he's gone yet. Ben was also a part of Star Wars: The Old Republic way back when. And,
good old days.
Yeah, so he was in lead development back then. And yeah, so a bit of a decent talent moving on, and it'd be good to see where he pops up. Grejio, the last bit of stuff we're talking about, it's kind of news. It's kind of a...
Look,
it's kind of news.
As a news topic, it's really scraping the bottom of the barrel, but it's not really what I want to talk about. It's how...
It's not really the news size that we're talking about.
No, not really.
What were they thinking? The PlayStation have released a few new controllers.
Yeah, so DualShock 4 is getting 4 more colors. So for the sake of the news, it's coming out in rose gold, titanium blue, electric purple, and red camouflage. Right?
Do you reckon there's going to be a whole group of people that are going to call it Bros Gold, like they tried to with the iPhone?
Bros Gold, trying to sell it to dudes as opposed to the 5 females that went, I really like that as a color. I might have that for my controller.
Don't forget. I've got the press announcement here, and it says we're also revealing a rose gold edition headset.
Oh wow! So you can
get in line
quick. You get your tents. You're gonna need to be, camped out. Look,
this headset offers the same gold wireless headset audio features players have come to love, but boasts a rose gold metallic finish. Shit, pre-order.
All right. Look, I appreciate what they're trying to do, but in reality, look, I'm playing devil's advocate here. In reality, what I was going to say is, why are they insisting on this bullshit when you look at the other side of the table, you have Xbox, which has literally a billion colors to choose from, and you can mix and match to customize your controller. You order it online, you get it sent to you, and that's what they're doing. And then these guys are like, "We got 4 colors."
Let's just stop this for a second, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just go into a bit of a holding pattern.
Sure,
Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
PS4 controllers. What have you got?
Oh, I've got a black one. I've got a
blue one, I think.
No, I took the blue off to put the blood splatter, the red blood splatter controller.
That was aftermarket, people.
Yeah, that was from Relentless Controllers.
Yep.
And just black. They're just all black except for that one.
Yeah.
That,
all right. Xbox controllers.
I've got a Gears of War one. I've got a white one. I've got a black one and another black one, I think.
All right. So you've got a Gears of War special edition for the
and it's got like
War franchise.
It's got like gouges in it and like fake damage and stuff.
Is it the red one, or have you got the same one that I do? The red. You've got the red.
The red one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Greg, Xbox controllers, because I know you've only got standard PlayStation controllers.
Correct. I have an Advanced Warfare controller. I have a Forza Edition controller. I have a green digital camo controller. I have the Black Elite. And then I think I've got maybe one standard black controller, but maybe not. I don't remember.
In my house, I have my Relentless Controllers PS4 controller. So that's an aftermarket controller. It's based on a standard, but it's aftermarket. Everything's been done to it. I have a standard white one, and I have in a box hiding away somewhere my 25th anniversary PlayStation controller, which is the only technical special edition controller that I have.
Yeah.
For my Xboxes, I have my Elite controller. I have a Gears of War controller, which is a full customized plate. So it's got Gears of War detail all over it. And then I have a Minecraft controller, which again is all Minecraft themed. So it's got blocks and shit all over it, Minecraft decals and everything. So this is where I'm going with this, and I'm going to steer this story just a little bit. When you get a custom controller from Xbox, you have the choice. Yes, you can get just a standard, a red one, a yellow one, or whatever, but you can also get something that is so customized and designed to be for a specific game that it looks fantastic. It's completely different. It's something that's completely brand new, and it's not just your generic black, white, yellow, whatever, which is what these new colors are. They're just a generic controller with a new faceplate.
Yeah,
like, it's a tiny problem. It's not even a problem. Who cares?
No.
A controller, but if you're gonna do it, it's worth doing it properly, And I'm thinking
that's exactly where I'm getting at.
they probably had a bunch of people working on it, right? And if these were the top 4 designs that they decided to run with, like, what were the other ones?
I know.
Jonesy, that controller's due today, mate. Come and show me. What have you got? Oh yeah, boss, mate. I've got a purple one. Beautiful. Yep, tick. We'll put that one on the list. What have you got, Paulie? What have you got? Red camo. Fucking what? What is this?
You know, there was one dude standing there with a clear controller going, yeah, but I've still got one of these. He's like, no, piss off.
Fucking whoever did the rose gold has got employee of the century, apparently.
Well, they got headphones to match.
But yeah, I mean, but then, like I said, with the Xbox, you can, and it's not just get a yellow one or a blue one. You can get one where you go like the front's yellow and the back's blue, or vice versa, or whatever the fuck color you want.
Yeah, but that's the custom builder, though, isn't it? I don't think that's available in Australia yet. Yeah,
no, I'm pretty sure you can.
You can just order
a mint.
Yeah, it costs more than your average controller.
But you know, these standard controllers still cost the standard controller price.
Sure,
but
yeah, apples with apples, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would like to see something a bit more. Like I hold my 25-year anniversary controller in pretty high regards. I like it. It's different. It's got the same color scheme as the original PlayStation with the logos.
It's just grey, Pat.
Hasn't it? Well, I haven't seen it for that long, so I don't even know anymore.
It's just grey.
And you hold it in such high regard that you've never looked at it since the day you got it.
It's a collector's item. It's away somewhere. I don't even know where I've put it now.
I think it's somewhere safe. Touchpad. I think the touchpad has a different design on it. It's got like I think the PlayStation symbol as opposed to the letters. Maybe I don't look the letters, the shapes. I mean, I don't know, but it's just a grey controller, dude. That's all it was.
I seriously don't know where I've put it.
The bin, maybe.
No, it's here somewhere.
Either way,
I'll find it. It's here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's looking at me.
Either way, it's a bit comical.
It's just grey.
It's two-tone. It's two-tone grey, and the PlayStation symbol's got the original PlayStation. I'm going to put it back up there where it looks good.
Far away.
Using it isn't.
I got to admit, anytime I'm playing the PlayStation, I'm using my custom one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll leave that there.
Yeah,
that's it for the news, boys. We're done.
That was it for the news before this segment, but anyway.
True.
All right. Anything else you just want to add to that, or should we jump into some last words?
Yeah, let's go. Let's bring this home.
I have one last thing. You asked for a release date for NFS.
Oh yes, Need for Speed release date. Yeah.
Yeah, 8th of November.
Oh, picked it. Look at that.
Yep. Good work.
Like your nose.
It's like a dirty nose. Alrighty. Well, last words. I'm going to give a shout out to Kaza, who's on his way home. Pickles, Radicus.
No, Radicus was on his way home, wasn't he?
No, Kaza said goodbye before because he was finished and he was.
Oh, I'm glad you're paying attention. Sorry, my bad.
Radicus is home. He's here. He's referred to us as a proper way we should be referred to tonight. And Rocket Man joined in. So shout out for you guys. Thanks for listening in. Some last. Anyone got some last words?
No.
All right, my last words. In our Discord server at the moment, there is a channel in regards to PAX this year. As I said last week, I'm heading down to PAX. So if anyone else is heading down and wants to catch up, let us know. Or if you're a Melbourneite and you've got some good ideas of somewhere to go and have a feed or have a drink or anything like that, that'd be much appreciated. McDonald's. My wife's coming along with me. She doesn't give a shit about PAX, so she'll be shopping while I'm doing all that. And, so if you have any ideas, shoot us over and let us know. Don't forget, Lucas, you've put up a new episode for that other show.
Yeah, I did. There's a new show finally. It's been a while. I told some stories about my 3D printer story. Go and have a listen to that one. That's an interesting little story, that one.
All right, don't forget over on Twitch, come and say g'day at Snoogervision for myself. And Lucas is Aussie Gamers TV on Twitch and Age XP on Mixer. And, of course, Grejio XBL for all his sexy Forza creations over on Instagram. If you know how to use Instagram, good on you, because I've given up trying.
I'm still trying to work out Twitter. It's confusing.
Twitter, I'm getting my head around.
Listen to these old men.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know what that damn talk about. Yeah, I must admit, with Twitter, I was very lucky over the last few weeks to be involved in some Follow Fridays, and a big shout out to everyone who's involved me in that. It's off the top of my head, I think you did, Lucas, Tommy, Synth Spacies, and I think somebody else, and I'm terrible. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people jumping on there and replying.
Probably
all.
Top Loader.
Might have been Top Loader. But, yeah, so a lot of people would jump on those and reply all, and I'd pick up my phone at the end of the day and see 400 messages on Twitter. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's the same thing, because there's like 15 people in the message. If they reply to the first one, it goes to everybody unless you untag who you're not talking to. But nobody does it because it's a pain, so just do it, and then you end up with a million.
I like seeing all those notifications because it makes me feel loved.
Yeah, you feel popular, even though no one's still no one's talking to me.
No one's talking to me, but I'm in the room with everyone talking. That's enough.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
What do you say we close the show, boys, eh?
Please do, because this is going to be a long edit for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A super special thanks to our live listeners again who have been chatting away while we've been going on. Thanks to you, Grejio. Hope you've had fun, mate.
As always.
Enjoy, mate. Thank you as well.
No worries.
Enjoy the edits. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page or join us in the Discord channel. If you want to get in touch with us directly, email is info@theagexp.com. While you're at it, don't forget to hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and description, wherever they may be found. That's all from me. As always, I am Snoogs.
I am Lucas.
And I have been Grejio.
See us next time. Woo!
Bye-bye. Righto! That's the end of the show. Does anybody listen to the show this far along? I don't know. But if you do, join our exclusive Discord club known as the Agents of Age. Just join our Discord channel using the link in the show description and comment the phrase, "I came here to party," and you will gain Agent of Age status. Subscribe to this podcast using the links to the things in the show description notes. And if you are listening, know this, we love you. See you next time on the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.